Hey y'all, it's your fellow human being himself, Leo here, just wanting to do a simple tutorial on how to use the OSARA parameters list within Reaper. Now, OSARA is the extension that blind Reaper users can use to navigate and execute actions within Reaper. And the parameters list is a feature of OSARA that enables blind Reaper users to access parameters that may not be visible to our screen readers. So if you're dealing in a case where you have an inaccessible plugin where the parameters are not visible within the effects window, you can use the parameters list to access those parameters so that you can be able to adjust the sliders or the edit boxes to whatever you want to do within that plugin. So I'm going to show you how to access it, what can you do within it, and some key commands that are probably helpful to know when you're navigating the parameters list. So I have a test track here.
To test.
And it has one plugin, which is the Wave CLA vocal on it. And to access the parameters list, I'm going to hit the letter P.
FX parameters : CLA vocal stereo, parameter : combo box bypass left paren, 0 right paren.
Okay, so when you first open the parameters list, you will be dropped into what is kind of like a dialog window that has a couple of things. So we first get dropped into a combo box that allows you to navigate by parameters. And for this combo box, you can use first letter navigation to navigate to different parameters. So if I wanted to find compression, I can hit the letter C.
Compress left paren, 7 right paren, compress color left paren, 8 right paren.
If I want to find pitch or pitch color, I can hit the letter P.
Pitch left paren, 13 right paren, pitch color left paren, 14 right paren.
And that's just an easy way to just jump around if you know which parameter you want to adjust. Now, if you want to adjust the parameter, there are two things if we tab to the right. So if we tab once, we'll find a slider.
Value : slider stereo.
And this is where you can use arrow navigation to go up or down to adjust the percentage, if it gives you a percentage from 0 to 100, or if it's ordered by different labels or categories, you can navigate to switch the parameter type. If I wanted to change this, I don't know, to wide, I can just hit right arrow, or if I want to mute this,
mute,
I can just hit mute, left arrow a couple of times.
Stereo, wide, mute. You
can also use up and down arrow as well. You can also tab once more and you'll find an edit box.
Edit selected 0.0000.
And in this case, I don't know what the values would be, but in here you can type from 0 to 1 or whatever values that the parameter will allow you to, and it will adjust accordingly based on what you want the parameter to do. So that's also another way that you can be able to affect the parameter in a plugin. And then if we tab once more,
filter : edit alt plus blank.
We have a filter combo box, which allows us to filter by parameter names. So if I only want, let's say, bass parameters to appear, I can type bass here. And if I go back to the parameters list by hitting Alt P,
parameter : combo box bass left paren, 3 right paren.
You got bass, and then you got bass color.
Bass color left paren, 4 right paren.
And if we want to erase everything in the filter combo box, we can navigate to it by hitting tab, or we can hit Alt F to go to the filters combo box.
Filter : edit alt plus selected bass.
And we can just delete all this stuff in here.
Blank.
Okay. If we tab once more to the right, we'll find
Include unnamed parameters checkbox checked Alt+U.
Include unnamed parameters. So you can also navigate to this by hitting Alt-U as well. So each section of the parameters list has a corresponding key command that you can be able to use to navigate to different sections of the parameters list. I guess if there are unlabeled parameters, you can remove them just to make your parameters list smaller. I haven't messed around with this. I found this out recently. But yeah, hopefully this may be helpful to you if you're like, there's 110 parameters and half of them are just unlabeled. You can probably check this or uncheck this uncheck this so that it will remove them from the parameters list. And then if we tab once more,
Close button Alt+C.
we find the close button. And you can hit Alt-C to navigate to it as well. Now, there's 3 ways that you can, I guess, close out of the parameters list. Obviously, you can tab until you find the close button, hit enter on it. You can also hit Alt-C to close out of it.
Left bracket unsaved project right bracket dash.
Or if I go back into the parameters list,
FX bank left paren.
you can also hit enter on wherever you are in the parameters list and it will close it.
Edit select left bracket unsaved project right bracket dash Reaper V7.
So I went to the edit box and then I just hit enter and it closed out of the parameters list window. Now this is the overview of how to use the parameters list. There is like one more thing to kind of talk about here is when you have one plugin, it will drop you directly into the parameters list of that particular plugin. So in my case, on the test track, I only had Wave CLA Vocal. Therefore, it will drop me directly into the Wave CLA Vocal parameters list. But if I have 2 or more plugins, then it will show me a context menu. So if I go up to my mic track, which I'm talking through right now,
One armed mic.
and then I hit the letter P,
Context menu.
there's a context menu that pops up. And then if I arrow down, I will have 2 options.
1 RBJ high pass / low pass filters 1, 2 REA gate 2.
And I can hit enter on whatever one. And then at that point, it will open up the parameters list.
FX parameters : REA gate 1 mic dialog -41.9 attack left paren release pre-o.
So you can use the parameters list for both inaccessible and accessible plugins. I guess I mainly use it in situations when I just don't want to go into the effects window. If the parameters are visible from the parameters list. There are some situations where you will still need to go into the effects window, and that mainly occurs when the parameter is visible in the effects window, but it is not visible in the parameters list. So REAGate, for example, gives you all the major parameters, but the one that's missing is the invert gate parameter. And that allows you to do audio ducking. So if I was to go and do audio ducking to any of my tracks, I would need to go into the effects window to check the checkbox. And yeah, that is all my thoughts regarding the parameters list. Hope this information is useful. And in the description below, I'll have all the information regarding key commands and stuff like that so that you can be able to follow along and practice as well. And if you don't know anything about OSARA, this is the first time you're listening to me about it, definitely check in the description below. There are links to where you can find out more information about Reaper, how to make it accessible for you as a blind Reaper user. And overall, hit the share, hit the subscribe, hit the like, keep safe, and shalom. Peace.